Hi and welcome along to AFTV. Time to preview the game Arsenal versus Vitoria that takes place on Wednesday at 3:50 p.m. UK time. 3:50 p.m. in the afternoon. Yes, what a weird time to play a Europa League game. We're back on Wednesday nights. It's all good. Well, not exactly Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon, the strangest time I've seen. And yet again, this is one of these games that have been moved because another team is playing nearby. So basically, Braga, they also have a Europa League game on Thursday. So they had to move the Vitoria one because they don't want a clash of the fans that are going to be coming to the Braga game for the Europa League. I think they got Besiktas from Turkey. They don't want that game clashing on the same night with all those people coming in at the same time. I don't even think it's so much to do with any potential crowd problems. It's more to do with traffic problems. So they've moved the game to a Wednesday. Now, the reason why the game's at 3:50 on a Wednesday now is because they've got games on in the Champions League, of course, on a Wednesday. They've got these Champions League games where they play at 5:55. I think Bayern Munich are playing in one. I can't remember who's playing the other. So they don't want it to clash with that, their premium competition. So hence why the game has to be played even before those games at the weird time of 3:50, which means that a lot of people over here in the UK won't even be able to get to watch the game because they'll be at work. I don't know what the status will be for the Portuguese fans. Probably a similar thing because, 3:50, surely that's still at work time. So if you want to watch the game, if you want to go to the game, you got to take time off work to go to it. And again, to me, when I see things like this, it just sums up this competition, the Europa League. It's like an afterthought, a complete afterthought. Look at this, the game's been changed to 3:50 on a Wednesday. You'll have later on in the competition, teams from the Champions League drop into the Europa League, even though they were knocked out in the group stages of the Champions League. This is why, for me, I don't really have a lot of love for this competition. We're in it. I want to win it, but the quicker we get out of it, the better. And you can see why, not just financial-wise for the hierarchy at Arsenal, but also status-wise, they want to get out of this competition and they want to get back into the Champions League. And that is why the manager, Unai Emery, is under a lot of pressure. And it's going to be really interesting to see what team he plays in this game. We're virtually through already. We've got 3 wins out of 3, 9 points. If we win this one, we're through, right? So it's all secured. We're literally through anyway, because I'm sure we'll get 3 points off of the home games to come. So what sort of team will he go with? Because he's got a massive game at the weekend against Leicester. There's a lot of suggestions out there that if he was to lose that game away to Leicester, which is going to be a really difficult game. And remember, Leicester have no European football, so they'll just be sitting, waiting, rubbing their hands. If he loses that game, the talk is that he could go, because we then go into an international break. Owners and that have got a lot of time to start thinking. And I know the sounds have come out saying that they're going to persist with him, but who knows what could happen in that international break. So surely he's going to leave out the big guns. I don't expect to see Aubameyang there. Lacazette, I don't expect to see there. Pepe, well, you don't even know, because he left out Pepe at the weekend, so maybe he might even take Pepe to this. I expect him to leave out a lot of the first team players, because, this game is not really of massive importance when you compare it to the game that's coming up at the weekend. So I expect lots of starts for young players. There's a lot of rumours that Reiss Nelson could return to the fold. He's supposed to be back in fit now, so Reiss Nelson could be in it. Could Granit Xhaka return in this game? That's going to be the really interesting one. At the time of making this video, I don't know who's travelled yet, but Granit Xhaka, could he return? Remember, he's not, he's fit. It's all because of what happened the other day. We don't have to go all over it again. We know what happened between Granit Xhaka and the fans. he's made an apology of sorts. But this could be the perfect game for the manager to bring him back at. It's away from home. Probably not going to be a lot of the hardcore fans there that may possibly have given him stick. I don't think, I think even if he returns at home, I don't think Granit Xhaka will get stick off the fans. I think, again, it's just going to be all based off performances. But maybe this is the type of game to ease him back into. So you bring him into a game like this alongside a load of young players. And as I said, it's away from home, 3:50 kickoff in the afternoon. The game's not as important. Maybe the perfect game to kind of bring Xhaka back into the fold. And of course, we will get to see, I would have thought, a lot of the exciting youngsters like Saka. Martinelli has been absolutely outstanding in this tournament. I think top goal scorer in the Europa League so far this season. Expect to see Martinelli starting up front. More or less a very similar team to what played against Liverpool last week, but probably not as strong. That's my thoughts and feelings on it. Of course, Vitoria, no mugs. I thought in that first game, they were very, very unlucky not to get at least a point. At the start of the game, as we've seen with a lot of teams that have come down to the Emirates this season, they were all over us, right? And got the lead, and, they looked very, very good, kept catching us continually on the counter-attack. Got some really quick players in there, really good players. And had it not been for the brilliance of Nicolas Pepe, remember, in that first game with the two wonderful free kicks when he came off of the bench when we were 2-1 down, we could have lost that game. Luckily to recover back to winning the game by 3-2. But we can see from that game that it's not going to be an easy game. I expect a very tough assignment. Vitoria, they're, just as much as we're literally through, they're literally out of the competition. They've lost all 3 of their games, and they're looking definitely down and out. It's a must-win for them to have any chance whatsoever to try and progress through the Europa League. And we do know that teams in Europe do take the Europa League a lot more seriously sometimes than the English clubs. So they'll probably go with a stronger team. They're at home. It's against Arsenal, so, it's a history-making game for them because they've never played us before. So, at their ground. So it's going to be a history-making game for them. So they'll want to prove a point to their fans, and they'll feel very unlucky, at what happened, the last time we played, because as I said, they played very, very well. And it was really just the brilliance of Nicolas Pepe that got us out of jail. So it should be a really, really good game. What about Unai Emery, the manager? Will he come under any pressure if he was to lose this game? I don't think so. I think it's all on the game against Leicester. I think we've won 3 out of 3 in this tournament. We played very well in this tournament. Apart from the last game, I don't think we played brilliantly, but we got the result. But on the whole, we've, impressive over Frankfurt in the first game, who incidentally beat Bayern Munich 5-1 at the weekend, which led to the sacking of Bayern's manager. So, we beat them. We beat Standard Liège comfortably as well. So in this competition, we've been good. It's in the Premier League where, it hasn't worked for us. And maybe it could be that Unai Emery's kind of pragmatic style kind of suits this competition a bit more. Remember, that's where he had his success as a manager in the Europa League, winning it 3 times in a row. And maybe his style of management, where he's very pragmatic, suits knockout competitions. But in the Premier League, it's not seeming to suit it at the moment. So this is I wouldn't say this is a huge game for him. I think it's going to be an interesting game. Interesting to see if he plays Granit Xhaka in the game, as a part of rehabilitation and bringing him back into the fold. Interesting to see if Granit Xhaka does play, will he be the captain? Again, that would be very interesting to see. And then, as I said, he's got the big one coming up at the weekend. So I expect him to rest, lots and lots of players, lots and lots of first team players, because that game is absolutely huge. And we're coming up against one of the informed teams in the Premier League. Last 2 away games, 2 clean sheets for Leicester, 11 goals scored. So it's going to be a very, very tough game. So Looking forward to the game. As I said, weird time, 3:50 p.m. Kickoff. Make sure you look out for our interviews after the game. Also, we're going to be doing a live stream. So if you're at work or you're not home yet and you want to follow what's happening on the game, the lads in the studio are going to be doing a live stream of the game, watch along, talking about all the incidents, and then they'll be doing a phone-in after the game. You can phone in and let them know what you thought, and also message them in as well and let them know your thoughts, and they'll be reading out your comments. All right, so make sure you get involved in that. But it's Arsenal versus Vitoria, 3:50 p.m. kickoff. Don't forget that on Wednesday. Looking forward to the game.